I'm Errol Smith. I'm the curator here at the Sykesville Gatehouse Museum of History. Have been here since April of 2007, I believe.
Carroll, where are we located? We're in downtown Sykesville, is that not correct?
Well, not downtown in terms of Main Street. We're on Springfield, off of Springfield Avenue, right adjacent to the Sykesville Middle School.
Right. Now the building that we're in has quite a bit of history to it, doesn't it?
The history of it is associated with the old Springfield Hospital, which was a state institution, the second one in the state, built to provide for people with mental problems and disorders. But other than that, it also served a very sizable tuberculosis population back in the 1930s and 40s. So it was not exclusively for persons with mental issues.
Right.
But it was at the entrance, the main southern entrance of the Sykesville or the Springfield Hospital.
Hence Gatehouse.
Hence the name of the gatehouse.
Right.
But it was designed as a gatehouse. As you stand inside the front door, there are windows to either side, so you can observe the traffic on the street outside. But it never functioned as a gatehouse.
It's used as a museum today to collect the history of Sykesville and the history of Springfield Hospital Center. But it was originally a residence, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. The hospital itself was built in the 1890s. This building was not built until 1904, which happened to be the same year the town incorporated itself. And then by 1913, a family moved in by the name of Shipley. It's a very common name here in Carroll County. William Shorb Shipley, frequently referred to as Willie. And he was the third person from the top in administration for the hospital. He was their chief purchasing agent, and a part of his compensation package was to have the residents rent-free. And they lived here from 1913 to about 1954 when he passed.
No kidding.
Right.
So a long time.
Absolutely. He and his wife had two daughters and reared them here. And so this, I think, provided a very comfortable home for them.
So this was actually a part of the hospital center, of Springfield Hospital Center?
Yes, part of the campus,
Okay.
yes.
Now I understand that at its height, Springfield Hospital had nearly 4,000 patients.
Somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000,
Right.
yes. It was a sizable institution, yes.
And provided a lot of employment for people that lived in this area, I imagine, for
Yes, it
all
did.
the
It was
surrounding
a
area.
major employer in the area, and it was also sizable in terms of area because it included probably over 3,000 acres.
Wow.
And in some ways, the hospital was probably about 80 to 90% self-sufficient because they raised all their own crops, all their own livestock, and the patients who were capable also worked the fields and tended the livestock with supervision. And it was not in any way slave labor, but it was a way of them using their time fruitfully and productively.
Sure.
And I think there was compensation either with vouchers or some kind of slips that they got that they could use in the hospital canteen to buy toiletries and candies and things of that nature.
So Errol, this building has actually become, and is still used in a very fruitful manner, to house the archives of Sykesville and some historical information from Springfield Hospital. What exactly would one find here when they came to visit?
Well, we sometimes get the question, why in the world does a small or modest-sized town like Sykesville even have a museum, since no person of great notoriety ever lived here. George Washington did not sleep here, or Abraham Lincoln did not pass through here, as far as we know, on the railroad. But the truth is, it gives us a window into life of this community and area in the 1800s and the 1900s. And in our collection, we have a variety of things. We have some Native American artifacts that were collected in the area from about 12 different Native American campsites. And we have household items, a few small farm-like implements and tools, We have information relating to the railroad and its development, and old shipping receipts and stock certificates and tradesmen's lanterns, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We have household items like butter presses and even an old brownie box camera, those kinds of things.
Sure.
Some toys dating back to the 1950s. We have a huge collection of pictures from many of them from the old Sykesville Herald, which
Mm-hmm.
was in operation for a number of years, from the early 1900s up through the early 1980s. And they depict life here with all kinds of pictures of people of notoriety, politicians that visited the area,
Mm-hmm.
High school graduation pictures, no birth announcements that I'm aware of, but engagement and pictures
Mm-hmm.
for young women, and civic organizations that met in the area. And in addition to that, we do have a number of items of clothing,
Mm-hmm.
and some that are still being donated to us. And we also have a research library, and in that library we can provide information about a number of the historic homes of the community, some of the historic personages and families of the area, some of the unusual events that took place here.
Mm-hmm.
And so it provides a good research reference point for people.
Sure. The museum also, I understand, sponsors some events during the year, some of a historical nature. You have some activities that happen.
Yes, up until this year, we sponsored the Strawberry Festival in June, but we lost a partner that helped draw attendance for us, so that kind of went by the way. Whether that will continue or not, we're not sure. But one of our major events is a World War II dance that happens in November.
Mm-hmm.
And we usually have around 120 to 130 people come. We honor the veterans of the World War II. They are becoming, of course, fewer in number.
Sure.
They are our guests for the night. All other people are paying people who are
Mm-hmm.
there. We use a live band that plays World War II, 1940s era music. And we do some recognitions of these veterans by name, rank, unit they served in, and which theater, European or Pacific.
Fantastic.
So it's a delightful night, very
Mm-hmm.
relaxed, and people look forward to it. And this being taped here in mid-September, people are already calling for reservations and for tickets.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
What other kinds of activities do you do throughout the year?
Well, we are also every other year, on the even-numbered years, we sponsor a holiday house tour
Mm-hmm.
of a number of the historic homes in the community,
Mm-hmm.
and this happens to be one of those years, being 2010. We try to have around 5 to 6 homes, plus the museum is decorated for Christmas, so is the townhouse,
Mm-hmm.
where the offices of the town are housed, and usually the colored schoolhouse as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes a pretty good itinerary for people that want to visit, and it provides income for the museum as well.
Excellent. In addition, we've discovered a wealth of information in an archive of old audio tapes that we're getting ready to put on the Community Media Center's website, a page dedicated to the Gatehouse Museum.
That's right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, we have 2 trays that have been sitting rather idly by for a while, and through our partnership with the Media Center, those are being transferred to CDs, and as people know, those kind of tapes get brittle over time, and we do not want to lose that kind of information. Mm-hmm. Many of them are conducted by Jim Perman, who was the first director-curator here at the museum.
Mm-hmm. And they're fascinating because some of those tapes go back to the early 80s, and some of the people that were interviewed were actually born in the 1800s. So it's remarkable that we've got history that goes back that far. Many of them have experiences in the early, in the 1920s and the 1930s in Sykesville, and remember the horse and buggy days.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's fascinating.
Yeah, that generation really bridged a tremendous well, a wonderful time in history that went everything, all the way from, as you said, horse and buggy days, coal oil lamps, to the modern day of electricity and high-tech living.
So that's fascinating. So that's soon to be released on the CMC's webpage. Will be a page dedicated to the Gatehouse Museum, which will have all those vignettes of audio tapes that anybody can listen to. That's very exciting.
And we're happy to share those with the community and have those available.
Let me ask you this: if someone wanted to come by to see the museum, when is it open?
We are open. Our longest days are Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. But we are also open on Sunday afternoons from 1 to 4 o'clock.
Okay. And the address here?
Oh, you would ask me that, and it's Cooper Drive.
Okay.
And I have always keep one of the business cards handy.
Sure.
Because I never remember. It is 7283 Cooper Drive.
7283 Cooper. And I guess the easiest way to get here is to come down 32 and just to turn in front of where Springfield Hospital, where the new intersection is. I guess that's Springfield Drive. You make a right there, or a left, depending on whether you're going north or south, but head towards, I guess, Fairhaven, or towards the town, and then just follow the road around, and it's about, what, a quarter of a mile on the left-hand side?
Probably about that. They'll pass a park and ride lot on their left, and come to the crest of the hill, and then they start down Springfield Avenue, where they find the first left-hand turn bay. There's no light there. That feeds both to the middle school and to Cooper Drive, and then we're right there at right by the large stone pillars.
So as soon as you see the middle school, make the left there, and it's there on the left.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right in front of you.
Right.
Now, what's the phone number here if somebody wanted to call?
The phone number is 410. I do remember that. 549-5150.
Errol, thank you so very much. This is a wonderful enterprise, and it's very interesting to be able to walk into this building and step back in time.
Well, we think we're a well-kept secret, and we're working hard right now to become more visible to the community and to the county as well.